Dick's.
Dick's.
Dick's, the club for Richards.
Is that a thing?
No, but it is now.
Well, it is. So Richard Marx would be there. You'd be there.
Sir Richard Attenborough's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a shame.
like him
Would
to
you
be
invite David on his behalf?
Yeah.
Would you? Just
We can have David Attenborough in your club. He'd class the place up a treat. I mean,
imagine David Attenborough walking into a massive club. You know these like club scenes you get on music videos where they're just everyone's throwing Hennessy around and blokes have got puffer jackets on, but girls have got no clothes on.
yeah.
It's like,
you're going, how warm is it in there? Somebody tell me.
Who's controlling the thermostat?
I
in this
think
club?
these R&B videos that are shot in those super clubs in Miami, they're just in the corner, just have a little temperature gauge. Just
Yeah,
let
but
us
chill.
know.
He's got a Hive app on his phone. And he's going, let's just wind. I'm going to wind this right down so I can put my puffer jacket on, and then I'm going to wind it right up again 10 minutes later.
Or, so either the women are all freezing, possible, or all the men are, oh my lord, sweaty as anything.
Is he got a very?
That's why he can't take the puffer off. He came in with the puffer
because the
on.
BO is it sealing the BO in?
It's sealing it in. If he took it off, his t-shirt underneath is sodden. So he's got to keep the puffer on.
That's
But
what
now,
it is. He's got BO.
I've had that. The fact, when I met my wife, which was in Los Angeles, I arrived, I was wearing a linen, but still a jacket, a casual sort of jacket over a t-shirt. It was a boiling hot day.
You basically look like the bloke from Death in Paradise.
I've never seen that. But was he perspiring quite enormously?
Perspiring and a linen jacket.
So brown linen jacket over a t-shirt. And I arrived. And also we were working in this sort of funny little house that was a production office. And it had terrible air conditioning, so it was hot inside as well. And people kept saying to me, you should take your jacket off. And I was like, no, I'm good. While running with sweat. And it was plainly obvious that I was too hot. But I could not take my jacket off because
that's amazing. The
and
things
that
you
was
do.
the day I met my wife.
And did you fancy her as soon as you met her or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she claims that she fancied me as soon as she met me, even though I was incredibly sweaty.
But if she liked, fresh perspiration is apparently attractive on men because it can
Yeah.
act as a pheromone.
Maybe.
But
I'd thought about
beyond fresh, not so cool.
that. Well, no, because I'd started sweating in the morning and I was there all day and I couldn't take the jacket off. We went out for lunch. The producer took us out for lunch and we met somebody else. I think we met the guy who was going to direct this thing we were working on at the restaurant. We were sitting outside in the sun. I was just like,
Oh God, can we just go in and
and I
the
remember
shade?
meeting everyone. He's like, hey, this is Richard. He's the script guy. And he went, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, take your jacket off. And I was like, no, I'm good. And
No,
he
I'm
was like,
British. This is brilliant.
yeah. And he was like, it's 95 degrees out here. What are you doing? And I was like, I'm fine.
You flute.
Whole day. Well, what was I going to do?
I don't know.
My only other option, and this would have been DEFCON 1,
Yeah.
is to go, you finish up lunch, I'll be back in a sec, and go and buy a new t-shirt.
Have you ever had to buy clothes on a job because of them? I have.
I've had to change my clothes where I've had some spares, thankfully, in an overnight bag or something.
I went and bought a coffee and I was perfectly on time to do a voiceover in London.
Yeah.
And it was a summer's morning, and as I walked out of the coffee shop and took a really big swig because it was quite early, the lid hadn't quite sealed, like so, and it basically cascaded down my front. I had a white t-shirt on. I went from looking, you know, when you think I look all right today, I feel like I made a bit of an effort. I went from that to going, I need to buy a t-shirt on the way to this job quickly. And I just went into a really unnecessarily expensive London shop, which I now regret. And I just looked for a white t-shirt, and it was about 40 quid. And it didn't even. It was a white t-shirt, and it didn't even fit me properly. And I just went, yeah, great. And it's sort of the shoulders are like there. It looks like I was wearing my dad's t-shirt as a kid.
The only time I've had to buy a t-shirt at short notice that I can remember was a mate of mine rang me up and went, what are you doing today? And it was a Sunday of a bank holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And I went, nothing. I think my wife was working. And I went, I'm a bit of a loose end. And he went, do you want to come and celebrate the National Day in the Netherlands?
What?
I went, what? He went, yeah, I've got some Dutch mates and they're celebrating it's Queen's Day, or Orange Day as it's called, the National Day of the Netherlands. Do you want to come and celebrate? And I went, yeah, okay. So I met him at Angel Tube in London town.
I know it well.
Yeah. And he went, oh, you've got to wear something orange. I was like, well, you're telling me this now? And also, I don't own anything orange, I don't think.
I've got a puffer jacket. You could have worn it indoors.
Oh, brilliant, because we did end up in a super club in Miami, so it would have been great. and I'm used to being sweaty in social situations in America.
Guys, you want to take your coat off?
No,
no,
I'm fine.
no. Yeah.
No, thankfully there was a branch of the Gap, across the way from that tube station in the shopping centre. And I went in there and they sell, at that point they were selling primary coloured and brightly coloured T-shirts
That smells
for like a tenner. So I bought a bright orange T-shirt and put it on just under my shirt and opened my shirt and that was fine.
I bet that was Benetton.
No, Gap.
Has Benetton, by the way, gone under? Do they sell clothes? Are they?
It feels like they should have done, but they haven't. I think
they're-
they still exist. It's just your mind blocks them out because you think, there's nothing in there I want.
It's an exchange student shop.
I think if you were going to an 80s party, you might sort of pop into Benetton in the hope they still have the same old stock. But
You imagine
know.
being the head of design for Benetton. It's basically you've just got a colour wheel and you just spin it every day. It's the same jumper, the same shirt. You just go mauve.
but sometimes when words just trigger off thoughts in your head, as soon as you say Benetton to me, I picture a ski jacket or a jumper that's got a purple bit on it. Just one thing, like if this jumper was from Benetton, that bit there would be purple,
Yeah,
but then this bit would be orange,
yeah.
and then probably yellow here.
I feel like I should own a Benetton jumper. But in real, like the 90s has become acceptable clothing-wise again, which I do quite like.
Yes.
Maybe not for us because we were there the first time.
Too old, yeah.
In my head, I'm not. But but my wife would go, "You are. You can't wear that turquoise
think
loose fit sweatshirt."
it's like I've
Chenille.
realised I'm at an age now where I sometimes see a pair of slightly interesting trainers, and I sort of think,
No, you might look like a bell.
I think I might look like I'm trying too hard.
It is dangerous.
There's a watershed moment where you acknowledge that,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Talking of chenille,
yes,
my chenille moment was my favourite jumper used to be chenille, and I was driving to work in my most unreliable car that I've ever owned, which was a Volkswagen Transporter, obviously, 1973. And it broke down in the middle of the biggest junction in Chester, in rush hour,
yeah,
sort of mid-indication to pull across. Nobody helped me to push it, so I had to push it on my own. This is a white chenille jumper, and then I had to get to work. So the engine bay, you have to reach quite a long way, and it's like a post box on them. Had to reach all the way in, and there was an ignition issue.
Couldn't you have taken the jumper off?
I
when
just
you had
totally.
nothing
I was
underneath?
panicking because of the traffic. I had panic sweats as well. I should have just taken it off. I left the chenille jumper on, and I managed to just get grease and shizzle all the way up it. A whole bar of Vanish didn't do a damn thing.
Briefly, my favourite jumper was chenille, and it was when I was working in Next, and I think it was 97.
Very close to
It was
the
a black chenille jumper
black.
with a sort of acid green double stripe across the chest.
I might have bought mine from Next.
Well, I worked in Next in 97, and we were big on chenille back then.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's
Most
where I got
things I owned at that point were chenille.
it. So I
because
wasn't too
got a
far out.
discount.
I think this was 98.
Chenille jeans.
Can you buy chenille jeans?
No, chenille jeans sounds like they should be famous in some way or other. Hi, chenille jeans.
It's an American commentator
Yeah,
for Pro Rodeo.
yeah. Chenille jeans.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think
Okay,
it's a
guys,
woman, though.
welcome back.
I think it's a woman. I think it's one of those sort of. She's got a kind of Dolly Parton southern accent
And what does she commentate on?
on rodeo.
On Pro Rodeo?
Yeah. She's
Okay.
like, she was in the 70s. She was America's leading female rodeo rider.
So she did
She's
it all.
long retired now. She owns a stud farm
Yep.
down in Texas,
Yeah.
and she also brings up new female rodeo talent. She's
Brilliant,
just like she's
brilliant.
preeminent.
I can
She
see
also
it.
commentates.
She's got a sponsored like a Western work shirt. It's built
Yeah.
Ford Tough.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, yeah.
sponsored by Ford.
Yeah.
Good truck, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Chenille. What's her name again?
Chenille jeans.
Chenille jeans.
She's got very brassy blonde hair,
Yeah.
and you would not fuck with her.
No, you wouldn't.
She would beat you.
I'd like to think because we're British, we might get around her a bit. She might.
She'd find our accents endearing for a bit, but then suddenly she'd turn if you angered her.
She'd realise that
She'd break
beneath it all, we could be a pair of strokers.
Yeah. She's got very large breasts, which is quite advantageous for the sponsorship. It's a bit more,
But
more
bad-
area
Yeah.
for sticking a badge on for, Home Depot or something.
Have you ever watched Pro Rodeo?
No.
It's like watching someone over driving a TVR, basically.
You're overdriving that horse. Just relax.
You know when
Relax, it's fine.
the car is owning you, you are
Yeah.
not owning the car. It's like someone who's just bought, back in the day, a Cerbera and gone, I'm not going to learn this car. I reckon I can take anything on. And he's the guy that you go 5 miles down the dual carriageway and it's backwards in a ditch with him just going.
Now, what was that story? And I can't remember who told me it. It might have been TV's Monkey Harris told me the story about he knew a guy who was a TVR dealer in the 90s, in the heyday.
Yeah.
Griffiths and Chimeras and stuff.
Yeah.
All these city boys would come in and they've usually got like a 325i or something. And they'd come in, I want one of those. I'll have a test drive. They take it out. And I think this was in London, over sort of West London way. The standard test drive route was you go up the slip road onto the A4.
A4, yeah.
And clog it. And what they would do, apparently, without fail, if they weren't used to that kind of acceleration of power, they would clog it on the slip road, shit their pants, and knock it into neutral, so they'd then be coasting towards
With the engine going.
Yeah. They would just panic and knock it into neutral. Apparently, it happened more than once. It was just like that was a sort of Pavlovian response from a frightened city.
Have you
boy.
ever knocked a car into neutral
No,
through panic?
It's
I
the
haven't.
weirdest thing to do. I mean, actually, in fairness, though, I think it's a mark of people who don't really know what they're doing. Because I've got a mate who he used to dip the clutch. If in doubt, dip the clutch. Like whenever
When you're doing 70 miles an hour and the car's
so he'd be
snaking.
sort of on a main road and there'd be a bit of a bend and he'd tap the brakes, but he'd also dip the clutch and then bring it back out again. Just go, why?
What, just to unsettle it? Is he aware that that's how a lot of drifters initiate a car
No,
to...
but it was the opposite of a clutch kick. It was sort of because he thought it was calming the
It
car
was,
down.
it was like a panic. It's time to breathe, isn't it? It's like going and breathe, and the idle comes down, and then he goes,
and then just
3, 2, 1, back in the room.